We just got our second episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it appears we know who one of the main villains is going to be. Let's talk about the Powerbroker. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and with a little update on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Well, we got the second of 6 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier today on Disney+. And this episode basically revealed who the main villain is going to be. Now, he didn't appear, but it was confirmed, the presence of the Powerbroker. So, let's take a couple minutes to talk about who that is and what that means. Now, before we break all this down, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, don't forget about the big giveaway. We're going to give away this PlayStation 5 at 25,000 subscribers. All you have to do to get in on the giveaway is be a subscriber and leave a comment. Well, we found out in the most recent episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier that there are several moving parts going on in this season. We had some pretty great action scenes involving the Flag Smashers, and they all appear to have some sort of enhanced strength and maybe some other powers. Now, by the end of the episode, they were on the run from the Powerbroker, and the Powerbroker is a pretty big player in Marvel Comics and could give us some clues about what's going to happen. Now, in the comics, there have been more than one iteration of the Powerbroker, but I honestly believe they're going to conform to the very first version, Curtis Jackson. Now, the Powerbroker is pretty unique in Marvel Comics. He creates a corporation called the Powerbroker Corporation and hires a classic mad scientist named Dr. Carl Malus. Now, what they do is they create a technological process to augment the strength of paying customers, more or less a super soldier serum. Now, this was called strength augmentation in the comics, but they're likely to tie it a little closer to the super soldier serum in the MCU. Now, like most villains, this came with a cost. Not only did it impact some people's mental capacity, heck, it even deformed people that it failed on. Most of the subjects were administered a highly addictive drug to keep them under the Powerbroker's control. And he demanded anybody who he had enhanced that he would get a percentage of their criminal activities. Very similar to how the food chain works in organized crime. Now, one of the interesting ties of the Powerbroker in the comics is his tie back to the Red Skull. Might not make it to the show, but at least over in the books, he is one of the Red Skull's division chiefs. And we've long speculated that the Red Skull could be reappearing in the MCU, and this may be the overall path to do that. Now, as far as the Augmented Strength goes, in the comics it's pretty straightforward. It was created by Dr. Malus, and in the beginning it was mostly used by people to join the Unlimited Wrestling League, basically Marvel's WWF, that included wrestlers that all had some sort of superpowers. Actually, the Thing from the Fantastic Four was part of this ongoing series. Like we said, it gives the person increased strength, stamina, and agility, but it definitely impacts their mental facilities. It's very much like the super soldier serum. But like most of the other iterations of that, it's not quite perfect. Now, they're already calling these guys super soldiers in the show, so I don't know if they're going to differentiate between the two, but it's definitely different in the comics. This is exactly how John Walker gets his powers in the comics, and I highly suspect in his trials to become good enough to be Captain America, he will somehow get entangled with the Powerbroker to get that augmented strength and fall under his control. A kind of fall from grace. We've actually gotten some teases of the Powerbroker in Marvel in the past, but just on Marvel TV. Carl Malus was actually part of Season 2 of Jessica Jones, and it looked like this was the path Netflix was pursuing before that show got canned. Now, who's playing the Powerbroker, or even Dr. Malus for that matter, is still unclear to me, but I might have missed that along the way. Marvel does a pretty good job keeping these castings under wraps, and I'm not so much curious who's playing the Powerbroker, as much as how his story could tie to the Red Skull and even a rebirthed Hydra. So what do you guys think of the Powerbroker? And do you believe by the end of this season, he may enhance some of the heroes' lacking powers? Sam, maybe? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.